Monday. And so after a quick breakfast uh, in the morning, I went to the post office next door. And because I got a slip, a paper slip in my mailbox saying that the package cannot be delivered for some strange reason. Everyone is saying different things, and yesterday made it even more confusing and frustrating to deliver this message or this mail. So, but I went just next door first before I started running around to the place where it said the package would be. So when I went next doors to the post office there, and they know me by now, they greeted me, and the boss kind of the place always takes over before them because the girl seems to be they are younger staff working there, and they seem to be a bit flustered when as soon as I don't know how to express myself. So he always takes over. So when he went and he got the number again, and he checked and he looked at my paper slip, and then he asked me if I wanted it delivered there, and I said no, I can go to that place. It's just about 25 minutes away, and he said yeah. And then before I I was done, he asked me if I had I don't remember the word for it, but it's a residency card. And I said, no, I'm just a tourist here. I'm just visiting. And he became like, I don't think you can get this then because it says you must be able to identify yourself as I have my passport. Shouldn't that be enough? Yeah, but, and he seemed very skeptical to that, but he said, just go to that office and consult them about it. So I got a bit worried then, but I was still thinking if the package is there, I should be able to get it. So I walked there. It took me about half an hour, a little bit more than that, and it was hot yesterday, which was nice. So when I arrived there, uh, I and got in line and then got my turn. He was like, "Oh, well, this is the package." He went away, he got it, and then he wanted my identification, and I gave him my passport, and he was like, "No, this cannot work." And I was like, "Why? It is the only identification I have, and the only other thing I have is in that." And he said, "No, no, no, you need to have this green card." And I was like, "But we see that he was holding the mail thing, and on the mail thing, it was written in Romaji, so in English Roman letters and numerals, and my name was clearly written on it. And I said, "You don't even need to be able to read; you can just see that these two are identical." And it was like, "But we don't know that it is you." And I'm like, "Okay, so is there any way because I really need that package?" And he said, "Yeah, there is a way. Yeah, we can have it ordered, driven out to your apartment." I I really didn't understand why that was making any difference, and I asked why, and say because then you can sign for it. And I asked why can't I sign now, and he was like, no, but it needs to go out to your apartment. And it's like, but I was there the entire day when it was driven out to begin with, and I was like, well, but you have to sign for it. So it was kind of a circle argument that there is something I didn't understand and couldn't express, and there was something he either wouldn't tell me or just one of the standard things of Japanese bureaucracy where they just follow the rule even though the rule is strange. And if we just skip forward to when, because I had to choose a time slot of the day, and I chose the earliest possible time. And I must say that is very convenient because if it had been Post Nord, for instance, they would say, no, we can't drive it out today. You will have to wait. And then 2 or 3 days later, I could go to a pickup point. It's stupid anyway. But this was like, when the guy is out now on his run, so you can just choose the next available time slot after his lunch, which was 2 o'clock, and I was there around 9 something. So I just said, okay, between 1400 hours to 1600 hours, he will come. So when it was 2 o'clock, I went outside my building and I was sitting on the street in the sun, sunbathing basically, and doing some rehabilitation outside. And because there is only one entrance, and I mean, everyone that works in the work like postal services and whatever in Japan has uniforms. So I was looking at that because I didn't want him to be like, oh, I don't want to climb 5 stairs of this building because it feels like that. They did the PostNord thing, like, no, no, he's up there and this box is not secure, so I cannot leave it, and then go into an infinite loop of never getting my package. So I was sitting there, and about after an hour, this guy comes up on his moped, and I just approach him and I show him my key. I will not show it now, but the key clearly states the apartment number, and I'm like, I have this. Do we need to go upstairs as well? And he was. I was thinking that I didn't even have to express. I'm just say I'm Oscar, and he was like, "Oh, didn't ask for identification, didn't even look at the key, didn't need anything, and then he was like, sign here." And I was like, okay. So I could not sign, even though I had the key, I had my passport, and I was at a place where I could, with all the tools in front of me. And then when I was at that place, it was like, doesn't matter now, you could take it. So, and basically, I just looked at the guy that drove up on the thing, brought up a package, and I said, I am Oscar. And he was like, oh, here. It's so stupid that they had to drive out, and then suddenly the security protocols that was so important before just changed. Very frustrating, but finally I got it. And yeah, I I know now from looking at this photo and also from this date that this is actually the driver's license they sent here that went back to Sweden and then went back here. I know this because I did the application twice. The first time, I only, on the phone I had, only had a picture of me available from the hospital. This is just me when I came out of the hospital of the surgery on Christmas Eve, and that was the only picture I had of me that was fulfilling the requirements at that moment when I did the last minute ordering of the driver's license, when I realized that I did not have a valid driver's license for Japan, because I thought this whole shabacle has to do with I thought I already had it, and then I spoke to Andreas or Adolf, whatever you people know him as. I spoke to him, and he informed me like it's impossible for me to have had what I thought I had, and yeah, so he was right, of course, and immediately when he said it, I ordered it. We were having lunch, or yeah, we were having lunch at a sushi place. So I ordered it, I did this, and then the new one I actually used a better picture that was clearer, better. And this is, yeah. So this has just went back and forth from Sweden, but the international or Motormännen or whatever they are called, Riksförbundet Motormännen Sverige, the Swedish Automobile Association, they they gave me all the money back for the first purchase, and they gave me a half refund on some of the costs for the second purchase, because I think they felt bad, and they were also ridiculously happy when I just sent the mail. I got it in time. Thank you for all your effort. So yeah, I have it, and I have now planned and done all the finalization of the trip starting later today. But So I'm gonna go to Kyushu and I'm gonna go to Fukuoka and I will be in Fukuoka tonight and tomorrow and then tomorrow I will get a car, and this car I will drive around on Kyushu. I will go around to different places. I have looked up a lot of things. One of the things I looked up that I was thinking of doing, I couldn't do anymore. The reservations were filled up for the date I wanted, and the next one is when I'm back here. So doesn't matter anymore. And it wasn't that important. It was just visiting this abandoned island. But as soon as I also saw that how quickly these ferry times are disappearing, I also started to lose interest because that means due to too many YouTubers going there and other influencers, I think it's no longer the experience I want. I don't want to be surrounded by foreigners that are stupid or just doing things because they want to check off the lists. I liked when I saw this first time. I liked the feeling of abandon when, and this was before it started to become popular, before they even commercialized the trips out there. Now it is clearly marketed towards tourists. They have found this gold mine and they are using it, which means also that most of the thing that makes this island feel abandoned and free and empty is probably gone. Now it's probably tourists everywhere looking at just rundown buildings, and if I want to do that, I can do it in many other countries where they just abandoned projects, or even here in Japan. I mean, last year we lived in a neighborhood where there was a house, one of these famous houses, where people just abandon it in the end and stop paying things, and then it just becomes uh, an abandoned house, kind of, where uh, that is technically fully functional, but for some reason they have just left it. So yeah, I'm not gonna do that, but I've done the other reservations. I did the last reservation yesterday evening, where so Fukuoka is kind of in the north of the island Kyushu. Japan has four main islands, and the southern most main island is Kyushu, where you have Fukuoka as the residence town, and then you have some different towns all around. So Kumamoto, Izumi, Oita, Beppu. I no, Oita is the prefecture. Beppu is the town, I think. Well, there are a lot of things there, so I'm going almost everywhere. And when I was looking at things that was of interest to me with the least amount of touristy things, I also realized the southern part of Kyushu is a bit too far to be a day trip, because it's 4 hours one way, and that means it's 4 hours back to Fukuoka, and it will be kind of far. 8 hours of just driving back and forth. I will not even be able to really enjoy it in the same way, and will probably be exhausted in the evening of driving for too long. So I booked in Izumi, which is kind of halfway, so it's closer to the south. So I will probably go now. I will be doing most of the north the first of the days. Then I will go to Ryokan in Beppu with onsen, a private onsen and stuff. And then from going there, I will go to Izumi, and then I will do the south as much as possible. And I have marked a lot of things on my map to do, and I have kind of a route planned. But other than the ryokan and be going to Izumi, uh, and then when I come back to Fukuoka, I will live. I will come back the night before my plane, and my plane will be on Monday next week back here. So I will come back, and then I will just live at the airport at a small apartment just next to it, so I can even walk to the airport. Um, so yeah, so I will do that, and we'll see what happens. Everything the if there is anything I have marked that when I come there, there's too much foreigners, I would probably not do it unless it's very interesting. The only one thing I know I want to do no matter what is there is a very large um, suspension bridge that is one of the longest suspension bridges in, I think it was either Asia or the world or Japan. Not it was not the world's longest or most extreme one, but it is a suspension bridge. And I walked on a few of these, and I like the feeling of vertigo, the adrenaline you get from being that far up, and it's also a pretty good thing. I mean the sights and stuff. So that is the only place I know that if there are tourists there, I will endure. Other than that, I hope to both meet new locals. I want to have conversations, and I want to try to find spur of the moment places during my drives, like stopping at random places and having hopefully encounters that are a bit more unique with people rather than scenery, so to speak. So I want to be everywhere and nowhere, and hopefully meet people. So that is my hopes for it. I really look forward to the ryokan. It's a level of ryokan I haven't afforded before, but it's something I've looked forward to for a long time. Uh, Even though it would have been nicer to not have do that alone. I still think it will be nice, especially if I have the courage enough to soldier through it. So yeah, so yesterday I also bought boxes for sending packages home. I will send them now, and then I will recheck my pack, what I am gonna bring on the plane, and make sure everything there is correct. I have a lesson tonight, which I'm probably gonna miss with the manga class. Um, it's the later chapters of Doraemon, but maybe I can do that on the airport. I'm not really sure. I think it started at 10 Swedish time, which is 5 here, and I think my um, flight was flying around 6, half past 6 or something like that. It depends. So I'm gonna go to Narita airport a lot earlier than needed, mm, basically due to if any problems arise, and um, to have a possibility of not missing the class, even though it's not very important. Uh, I think it's better to be part of it in case I actually need to be absent in the future. So that's my reasoning for it. And yeah, so I will probably try to catch up on the Japanese diary because I haven't been able to focus a lot with just waiting for this. This has disrupted much more than I thought because when I was done with most of my homework for the Japanese language course, I could basically have done more, but I felt confined here because it was so important to get that. Now it's here and I need to go. Uh, so not as relaxed as I wanted to be, but sending packages, I will do it now. I will pack my bag and I will probably start looking at going to Narita or at least taking steps towards. So that's it for today. And tomorrow I will not be filming in this location. Probably I will do it outside, and maybe I will do it with a camera. I mean, the sound is better with the computer when I use the conference thingy. So most likely I will still do it like here, but I don't know what to do, and I am a bit interested in doing things outside. I mean, better better to show something other than my boring little room. And it will be the great adventure of this trip. So see you tomorrow.